Welcome back to my channel. This is John in the United Kingdom, broadcasting to Elton John fans throughout the world. Now, in my last video, I started counting down my favourite 30 Elton John rock songs. So I went from number 30 to number 16. Today I'm going to be counting down from 15 to number 1. So ready for your comments. You've been sending in your own suggestions. I'm going to pick those all up in a follow-up video looking at some of your suggestions and maybe adding some comments of my own on to those. So let's get started now. What's at number 15? 15, I'm going to a very recent recording that Elton did with Years and Years. It's not an Elton John original. It's a Pet Shop Boys song, It's a Sin, and it appears on the Lockdown Sessions. I couldn't really exclude this. It's such a powerful song, an important subject which it addresses as well. The voices work really well together, and Elton sounds on great form in this, and it's a really good listen. So very much a rock song for me, this one. I'm going back to Made in England and the song Pain. This is a Bernie Taupin lyric that kind of gives a personality to pain in a way and looks at the different things that pain is doing in the world. Elton's given it a very upbeat setting. It's an enjoyable listen. Good recording. At number 13, I'm going to the Sleeping with the Past album, and I'm going with the song Healing Hands. Now, I've included this on quite a few different lists. It's really one of Elton's most uplifting and upbeat songs, which sort of gets neglected in a way when people think, well, what's a great Elton song? Or looking at collections, Diamonds and things like this, greatest hits collections. It never seems to appear. And he doesn't really do it live, which is a shame because it's a really good, positive, optimistic, cheerful song, and it would go down really well live, I think. So another neglected one that I'm putting at number 13. We're winding back the clock to the magisterial opener from Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, and I'm going for Love Lies Bleeding. I could include it with Funeral for a Friend as well, of course. I suppose you could call both of those rock songs. It's like a little rock suite, isn't it? What else can we say about this? It's one of Elton's finest instrumentals. Then a really good quality rock song, Love Lies Bleeding, actually. Perhaps, again, the emphasis is always on the Funeral for a Friend rather than Love Lies Bleeding, but it works really well. Some great guitar work going on there, and it's another sort of pile driver and a great start to, of course, a legendary album. I'm staying with Goodbye Yellow Brick Road and the song All the Girls Love Alice. It always puzzles me a little bit, the title of that, because it's all the young girls love Alice in the actual song, isn't it? At the time, a subject which would have been controversial for Elton to tackle and Bernie in the lyric, and he's given it a really almost anarchic setting on this. The guitars are very heavy on that. There's a lot of clashes going on there, and it's a really cleverly written song, I think. And it's one of those, a little bit like another one I'm going to mention, where it's got a fast bit and a slow bit, but they do work really well together. And another one that's been great live for Elton. Into the top 10, and this is the other song where there's a fast and slow part. We're going to Blue Moves and we're going to the song One Horse Town, and it's again another one that Elton used to do live, and it's got this very fast pace. It's got a long introduction, then Elton comes in, a fast paced verse, but then it's got this kind of I don't know whether you call it a chorus or not, but it's got this really much slower bit, and then it picks up the pace again. Again, it's a great band track, this one. The musicians working really well together, and another fine piece of writing from Elton, perhaps another neglected song. I'm going to The Union and a wonderful track called Monkey Suit. This is, of course, the album that Elton recorded with Leon Russell. It's just a great bit of upbeat, rocking fun, this one, about a dapper dresser. The two of them working really well together, as they do throughout what is a very classy album. Great track, this one. Here's a surprise. I bet you didn't predict this one. I'm going to the Leather Jackets album, and a particular favourite of mine is the track Go It Alone. It's a really heavy track to listen to and very exciting. Now, Elton wasn't that happy with this album, and in some ways it's disappointing. He wasn't in a particularly good place, I think, when he recorded it. But there are some decent tracks on it, and I love Go It Alone. I would compare it slightly with Nobody Wins from the Fox. It's that kind of sort of setting of it, that kind of sort of minor key, minor feel. I absolutely love this track. Turn the volume up on this one and see what you think. We're going to Wonderful Crazy Night and the track Looking Up. Now, Elton's done some good rockers late in his career. He obviously still enjoys that type of music, both playing it and performing it, and writing it, of course. Now, Looking Up has got this sort of very iconic sort of piano start to it that kind of runs down from the top of the piano to the middle of the piano. Elton used that a lot. And it's quite original, that, I think. He's not done that a lot in many of his songs, particularly like that. And again, it's just a bit of fun on what is quite a fun album. You can see from the pictures here, Elton's really enjoying himself and he's in a good place with this album. So we've got to go back to one of Elton's finest albums, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, and we're going to the song Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting. Now, maybe it's at number 6 because it's been, overexposed, this one, of course. It's a staple of Elton's concerts virtually all the way through his career. So maybe because of that, I put it a little bit lower down. But it's still a brilliant song, and particularly good quality lyric, atmospheric, and lots of good character descriptions of this situation of a sort of rough Saturday night from Bernie Taupin, and a excellent setting from Elton. So it's still got to be in there, this one, at number 6 for me. I'm going back to Wonderful Crazy Night. Now, you may think this is controversial. I'm going for the title track here. What a wonderful crazy night it was. It is just such a catchy track. Beautifully written. Not a lot to the sort of sense of the song maybe. But it's just a bit of enjoyable rock music. You put it on in the car, or if you're feeling a bit low, put this on and it cheers you up. And it's a musician and a lyricist working really well together with a fine band. So that is my number 5. I'm going to the title track of Empty Sky. This, of course, was Elton's first official album, and it's the first track that appears on that first album. You get a lot of music here. You get over 8 minutes. It sounds a little bit sort of influenced by the Rolling Stones, maybe, but it's a strong melody, this one. And for so early in his career, he really hits it with the quality of the vocal on this, and the band sounds great on here. So very early on, there's indications that Elton can certainly land a classic rock recording here. So it's a very enjoyable one to listen to. Can you guess? We're going to Too Late for Zero for, of course, I'm Still Standing. Now, I've got this on the album here. I've got a 12-inch single version of it as well, when you get a little bit more music. I can remember this one coming out. It was a joyous time. Of course, it's got probably Elton's greatest video with this, which I think was all sort of put together in one day, with lots of sort of dance and lots of excitement, lots of leaping about going on. And it's one of those songs that's lasted because it's about defiance. It's about that message of, we're still here. Now, I always sign off with that message, I'm still standing, and hopefully we still are. I think it gave people a lot of hope during the pandemic as well. And it's just that message of, we're the survivors. So, it's one of those tracks that's going to last forever, I think. Now, and at number 2, I'm going back to the Union for the great song Hey Ahab. Absolutely love this one. It's about the mysteries of what's going on out in the deep there, and we've got Elton and Leon Russell working really well together. It really rocks, this one. I just love listening to it, and it's one of those great later recordings from Elton. So maybe if a load of rock critics sat down and picked Elton's greatest, this wouldn't be on it. But it's my list of my favourites, and this is coming in at number 2. One may be a bit predictable, but I'm going to the Caribou album and The Bitch Is Back. And as we know, this is a bit of a joke on Elton, this one. And he took it in good taste, and he's turned this song into a staple of his live performances. It's also brilliantly done in the Rocket Man film as well. It's exciting. It's got this anarchic lyric, and this great sort of character that's been created, and it really packs a great punch. It's a good band performance. It's a very skillful song. It's been covered by a lot of people, but of course nobody does it better than Elton. Now, tell me what I've missed out. I'm particularly interested in maybe sort of the deeper cuts that I could have put in there. I did consider quite a few of the early tracks from the 1970s, things like Can I Put You On, the sort of tracks he was doing live on the 1711-70 collection, and when he was promoting the Elton John album as well. So maybe a few of those I should have considered. And I know there are people already putting suggestions down of ones I kind of missed from the 1970s and things. So let me know what you think. Don't forget to think about the 80s and 90s as well, because there's lots of good tracks amongst those, even if the albums were a little bit inconsistent sometimes. Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget, we're still standing.